to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George.
Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Cinementalists. Today, we begin a brand new project, the top 100 films of the 2020s. So far, we are halfway through the decade, and what better way to gauge the temperature than to rate or rank 100 films? I'm so very, very excited. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. We got some we got some goodies. We got a good plan. We're going to do a 10-part series on our top 100 films of the 2020s. We're going to start with the 90s today. We're going to go 100 all the way up through 90, and then a second episode we'll release today that is part 2, and that's the 80s, 89 through 80, and then the same will be done for the 70s and the 60s and 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, teens, and then the top 10. So we got a fun little plan for you today and over the next month. So it's going to be a good time. I'm very excited. Before we kick off our top 100 of the 2020s, how do you feel you've done so far this decade in terms of how much justice do you feel you're doing this list?
I feel, yes, this is great. I'm glad you asked me this to begin, because I feel like it is kind of important to kind of give this little disclaimer. And like I think halfway through the list, I become proud. Is like, I'm like, okay, these movies are like, I do love them, and I do have a lot of things to say, and I actually do care for them. And like, I think it's just, in this decade, or so far, I've switched my movie watching tendencies. I've become less of a comic book movie fan, or just, I guess, I don't know. I care more for
Die Hard.
Yeah, I like the good movies, the films. I don't know. It's been an awakening.
The cinema. Yeah, no, it definitely is the case. You know, like in 2021, for reference, and maybe it'll come up in. I'm sure it will, but there was, No Way Home and Shang-Chi and Eternals and Venom 2 and there were a ton of 2021 movies that I caught in theater, but they were all those. There was like nothing but that, and that was the beginning of me kind of evolving. And now that I'm already thinking about that, no. It's fine. It's fine. Can't go back now. I guess I could go back now. I'm gonna go back now. I'll figure it out. But I literally just thought of a movie I saw in theaters in 2021 that I can't wrap my head around why it's not on this list.
Oh.
But wow, look at that. You start talking, you realize stuff. But yeah, no, well, we got a lot to look forward to, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, because I'm pretty proud of the list from the jump. I love a lot of these movies, and I've got some piping hot takes already straight out the gate. I'm sure some people will find.
Wow!
But yeah, I'm very, very ready. Do you want to kick us off with 100?
All right. Well, I only had 103 total. To actually sift through. So I didn't have too many to kick out, was the thing. This movie, 100, I don't really remember much of it at all, but it only had to beat Morbius, Madam Web, and Rebel Moon. Were the three
super
movies.
High bar, high bar.
So we are very, very low. We're at the bottom, and this, I barely remember watching this movie, but I at least remembered it more than Rebel Moon, which I thought was crazy. And it's a Mark Wahlberg movie. I think it was watched with the family. It's called The Family Plan. And yeah, I mean, it's just a classic Mark Wahlberg. He's a trained assassin, basically, and more movie ensues. So I mean, that's all I can say about this movie, is that it beat out Rebel Moon, Madam Web, and Morbius. But yeah, that's how my list is starting off. So, and then that's to show how I think throughout my list you'll see the evolution. I think definitely pretty pretty clearly. It goes from pretty much
yeah.
a lot of comic book movies, a lot of just kind of bigger, kind of cash grabby feeling movies.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's starting off a little weak, is because I something had to be at 100. And
No, I
no
feel that.
way.
I feel
I
that.
wanted to exclude Rebel Moon kind of as a, I don't know, off principle, and it is actually just I don't remember a thing about that movie.
Rebel Moon is so fucking forgettable. Yeah, I'm glad you
Mhm.
bring up your first out because I do want to. I just added a movie right now, and I know it
Okay.
won't be in this episode, so I don't really have to evaluate where it's going to go immediately. I could just throw it up on the list, and I'll figure that out later. But my first out was actually it's much more difficult to assess than Madam Web, Morbius, and Rebel Moon because I think my list consisted of 250 movies.
Yeah. Many more.
Now it wasn't strictly difficult to be like, okay, I'm comfortable leaving this out of the top 100, but those couple right there on the cusp, it's like, how do you really differentiate between these for me? You know, like there's not a lot that makes them stand out, but I did just add one, so I have to shout out my first out, and it's Drive Away Dolls from 2024. Joel Cohen, Margaret Qualley. So fucking funny. Love that movie to death. Coleman Domingo, Pedro Pascal, Matt Damon. Super funny cast. Really solid film. But yeah, first out, my 100 is Fancy Dance. It's another 2024 movie directed by Erica Tremblay, starring Lily Gladstone. And the premise is that her sister has disappeared, and Jax and her niece, Rocky, must stick together, desperate to keep what's left of their family intact. Jax and Rocky defy the law and hit the road on a journey to the Grand Nation Powwow in Oklahoma City. It's really, really heartfelt, really, really sweet, kind of not really found family because they are family, but like they discover the love that they have for one another, and they get to really anchor their relationship. It's a sweet film. Really, really moving and really poignant. So Fancy Dance comes in at my 100 spot.
Damn, that is a crazy difference there. The Family Plan versus, I don't know. I haven't seen the Fancy Dance, but I already can tell you 100% I would like it way more.
It's a better movie. Yeah, I haven't seen the Family Plan, and I can tell you it's a better movie.
I don't think you need to. I honestly, I don't think it's really that worth your time. But wow, okay, Lily Gladstone, yeah, can't go wrong.
Gotta love some Lily Gladstone, yeah.
So okay, well, moving on is, I guess, my first official comic book movie here. I don't think the Family Plan comes from any comics, but this one, I'm not gonna the Venom movies. I don't know, they got me excited, and I was really hyped for this one, and the cast kind of looked a little insane. I don't know. It's Venom. Let There Be Carnage is where this one comes in '99. Woody Harrelson. I don't know. I don't know. I kind of. He just usually, if he pops up in a movie, it's just. I guess it's.
Oh, it's good. It's
yeah,
good
usually, but I don't know. This one, it might just be a while ago, and I don't really. I need a rewatch, but I just kind of remember it being a little. I don't know. Like, kind of, I liked the first Venom movie, I think, a whole lot more. And then after that, I don't know. They just kind of lost their steam for me for whatever reason. I don't know why. And maybe it's just kind of Sony's, movies that they make it large. Sony's.
It's a little bit of a rough slate they've got going on, as Craven just came out most recently, and I'm never going to watch that.
Yeah, it's. And they did like that little, end, like this is the end of Sony, like, or something at the end of that movie, I feel like, of kind of like, remember.
I didn't,
yeah, I guess it was kind of
that.
like at the end of all the X-Men movies when they did kind of that flashback kind of montage.
The time of your life.
They did one of those, I think, but for Sony stuff, and it was just funny to see Morbius, and like it's like, yeah, let's remember
in any capacity. That's
remember
funny.
the good times that we had, but yeah, no, this I guess Venom, this a little bit earlier in the time, still 2021, I guess here.
I will say a revisit of Venom might make you realize that it's probably the best looking comic book movie of one of the best of the last decade, for sure, of the last 5 years. The cinematographer is Robert Richardson. Obviously, it was directed by Andy Serkis, also one of his only directorial efforts. But Robert Richardson also shot. He's been a Tarantino collaborator, a Scorsese collaborator. He's done a lot of good stuff. He shot Casino, Kill Bill both the Kill Bills, Django Unchained, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Inglourious Basterds, Shutter Island, The Aviator. So the guy that was shooting the film was no fucking joke. Very, very talented gentleman there. And I think it comes through in some of the imagery that Venom 2 provides, which is a funny thing to say, but it's true.
Yeah, I guess at the time I was a very different movie watcher. I was in it for the comic book jazz, and not the cinephile kind of things, and that is what I appreciate more now. So yeah, I don't know, that's this list even near the top. Like, I mean, there's just many that feel like I need to revisit, that I know that I came off super, super high off at the time, and like it just needs to be cemented almost. But yeah, I guess
I'm with you.
Venom 2. Yeah.
All right, 99. 99s, let's fucking go. My 99 is White Noise from 2022, directed by Noah Baumbach. This is famously the husband of Greta Gerwig now. Greta Gerwig is actually in this movie. It's also Adam Driver, Don Cheadle. It's a great cast. It's sort of a disaster film. A chemical spill happens when a train crashes near their city, and the whole city has to evacuate. And it's kind of this dark comedy, pretty surreal at points. It's really, really good. I think it's caught a bad rap. It's got a 3 stars on Letterboxd. And it's a relatively, even curve. Like, it meets in the middle pretty well at 3 there. And I think that for me that's too low. I think it's a goodie. I've only seen it once. I need to revisit it, like you said. That's probably why it's at 99 here. But I do enjoy it a great deal, and I can't wait to watch it again. And getting Greta Gerwig on screen, I do love me some Greta Gerwig as an actress. Maybe not quite as much as I love Little Women or Lady Bird, but she's great, man. And so her being the on-screen wife to Adam Driver, that's a really, really strong combo that I appreciate a great deal. So White Noise there with Noah Baumbach.
Question for you here: Did Adam Driver, did he keep that girth while he was on screen? Does he have the presence still in this one? Kind of like a Ferrari
on
or
a level we have never seen before. No, he is he's incredibly girthsome. Very, very girthsome. He's quite the girth. He demands your attention. There's actually like a point in the movie that the point of the part of the movie is that you cannot help but listen to this fucking guy.
Wow. Okay.
It's a good part of the movie. He's a professor of Hitler studies, actually. So he's giving monologues about fascism and the rise of evil and what we do in the face of it and all that good stuff. So he's
not a fan, don't repeat history sort of way.
Okay. He's just it's cautionary tales sort of.
Okay. Okay. Whew.
Not a white supremacist film by any means.
White Noise. That was why I was like, okay, things are adding up a little bit. I'm like, whoa, I don't know what, but okay, a little better there. Okay, wow. But yeah, a lot. It's crazy, just the going back and forth here between these lists, because it's just like even that, I feel like this is a well-made movie, very great actors, and then I guess if you're done with White Noise, I guess I was about to move on. Okay, well, Space Jam too, with LeBron James, and it's like in the only reason I get like that it's 98, not 100, is because I just remember more of that's kind of what kind of where these movies fell is like, okay, I actually remember some parts of the movie. There were some parts that I liked, blah blah blah, but even these are still kind of like, these are the most nothing movies on my list by far. But I guess it was just kind of, it was our Space Jam. We didn't, our LeBron, our Jordan, and they tried, to do something new.
They tried to bring it into the modern age, which you can respect. I can respect that they made the attempt to do something original, but one of these, like, do something original with an IP, with an idea that is inherently unoriginal. They tried to do something original. So, like, gotta tip my cap to that. Yeah, I really wish it wasn't awful.
Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't even seen the original Space Jam with Jordan. So yeah, I know.
Oh.
I've seen just like, I guess, enough clips of it to kind of have the general idea. But yeah, no, I've never actually sat down and watched the movie.
That's a fucking classic, dude.
So,
I mean, like, I wore that. That's one of those DVDs when I was younger that I wore the fuck out, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. That it feel now that I say that, I feel a lot worse now that I've seen the LeBron Space Jam, not even the OG. But
gonna fly like an eagle. Yeah, no, there's some good stuff. There's some great. I mean, Bugs Bunny. I fucking love Bugs Bunny. I'm a big Looney Tunes guy. Grew up on the Looney Tunes hard, so it was a little bit of a heartbreak that this movie wasn't as awesome as the original, because it's the only thing Jordan has up on LeBron. That's a conversation for another day.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm definitely saying that to my father. Oh,
yeah, you have to. You got to pull that out. I've told my dad that expressly, and he got so fucking mad. I was like, the only thing Jordan ever did better than LeBron was Space Jam. His Space Jam is better. There's no doubt about it. But that's the only thing that's inarguably better about him. You know.
Yeah, that one's being used 100%. So okay, wow. But yeah, just the good old Space Jam with LeBron.
98's where I have my piping hot take, I feel like. Far and away the highest rated. It's the highest rated on Letterboxd that I will have for some time. I don't know. I'm trying to see what next spot has as high a rating as this does. So if you'll excuse me, my 98 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is where I'm implementing what is pretty much widely considered the best comic book movie of the 20s, aside from the Batman. I think that this movie is a lot of fun. I think that it's a really, really well animated, like, just gorgeous to look at, dude. And I think it's really, really depending on what comes next. You know, I just don't think it doesn't feel like a full movie. It feels like 2/3 of a movie, and we also managed to stretch that 2/3 into 2 hours and 20 minutes. So,
yep.
It's just a bit much. I think that it could have been a lot better, but regardless, even in just like story-wise feeling like it could have been better, like I said, it's unbelievable to look at. Daniel Pemberton's score of it is fucking gorgeous. I love some of the performances in there. A big fan of Oscar Isaac's Miguel O'Hara. I think that there's a lot of really, really impressive stuff being done with Spider-Verse, so I don't want to dismiss it altogether. Obviously, it's in my top 100 of the decade. But yeah, I would have benefited from a little bit more from this one. It had the potential to be a lot higher, and it was not. So, and this isn't I only watched it once. This is actually one of only. Oh, okay. I watched a few of these a couple times. That's kind of crazy. Wow. All right. Well, fuck it. I was gonna say it's the only one in the 90s. I've watched 4 of these more than once. So fuck it. Or 5? Yeah. Holy shit. No, 4. Okay, we're good. I thought I was losing my mind.
I mean, I don't think this one's that hot of a take, actually. At least I'm kind of in the same ballpark. It comes a little later in my list because there are movies I know for a fact that I don't like as much. But at least comic book wise, if I just kind of single out all of those, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 above it. And not that they are. I don't think. Some of them aren't, the craft of them might not be as strong. Some of them are, but like, the ending kind of just gets to me. I don't know. Like it is just like
No,
it'd
yeah,
be kind of
it's a
crazy
really,
if-
really impressively done movie that just does not complete itself, which is, like, I understand there's a part 3 and that's part of it, but it prevents this movie from being as good as it possibly can be, like, if I was talking Into the Spider-Verse wouldn't be for a couple weeks, like, I love that movie. I think that movie's incredible. And I think Across the Spider-Verse is really well done, but I think it leaves a little to be desired. But I will say it's a top 2 Marvel movie in my list.
Okay. Then
So it is a top 2 Marvel of the decade for me, apparently, after I'm looking at this.
Okay. Yeah, I got a couple coming, but DC seems to actually have kind of just owned this year.
I've got 3 DC, I think, and they're all above the Marvel ones.
Yeah. It's just sometimes it's just how it goes. That's definitely a transition we've seen in this decade.
For
I
sure.
feel like as well, but yeah, I don't know. It's the Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my favorite hero that there is out of anybody, and to have this movie, it's kind of like if Empire Strikes Back just ended on a crazy cliffhanger that you're like, well, come back for Return of the Jedi to get the rest of the movie, and it's like, no, the Empire stands on its own. Return of the Jedi stands on its own. It's like they are movies, and I don't know. It kind of is a principle thing rather than the movie just actually being bad or like worse than others. But okay, yeah, I guess I don't know. I was expecting something. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess.
Well, it's just I know that you feel the way about Across the Spider-Verse that I feel, but like I said, it's rated 4.4 out of 5 on IMDb or on on Letterboxd. And the next one that's rated 4.4 has to be at the fucking top of my list. Like it's the rarefied. There's a couple 4s, but there's nothing that's that high that's this low, Wow.
I'm
scrolling and scrolling.
It's just kind of a sad reality that we had with that one. It was great up until the last couple, just the ending. And it was like, oh, that's the end of the movie. Okay. Well, I guess I'll come back and what they promised, a year did they say that the next one? Yeah, right. Like, and then everyone was like, okay, sure. Sure that's happening. And still haven't heard much on whenever that movie's coming out. So,
my next one that is a 4.4 isn't until the top 25.
Okay.
So just a little frame of reference for why that will be viewed as a hot take.
Yeah, that makes sense. For your list, it definitely makes sense. Like for the hot take, like down there. But like I guess me like that. I don't know. It feels like that feels sort of where it's placed amongst, I guess,
the riffraff. Yeah, I get you.
The other
I get
comic
you.
books and stuff. But okay, wow.
What's at 97, my friend?
Well, we're sticking with the comic book vein. And this one is Wonder Woman 84. And I mean, kind of another one where the ending kind of just goes a little crazy. But I was enjoying it for the first little bits of the movie, like Pedro Pascal in there.
Pedro Pascal's fun. The whole opening sequence where they're running on the obstacle course on Themyscira, that whole thing, that's dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, then, no, I'm with you. It's,
I don't know. The ending, they kind of went crazy a little. I don't know what the antagonist kind of. I mean, it was Pedro Pascal eventually, but then the kind of cheetah.
Cheetah.
Oh, just cheetah. Okay, there it is. I mean, kind of. It just didn't seem to fit the movie, I guess, or totally, and things were just kind of. I don't know. It kind of just seemed a little all over the place. But I don't know. It was marketed as before it came out. I was like, this is going to be one of the best movies of the year. I don't know why I felt that way, but I think I was into the marketing that they were giving it. All the colors, the posters I thought were just cool. It was like a 1984. Just it
was a good idea. It was a good idea. Aesthetically, but then they just I'm with you. Things didn't go the way we wanted, but all right. Wonder Woman 84. Love that. My 97. Not quite a comic book movie. In fact, it's my first awards contender for this year.
Okay.
It's Conclave, directed by Edward Berger at my 97, starring Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci, John Lithgow. It's a really, really well done thriller, political thriller. You know, it's a place that we are pretty wholly unfamiliar with the politics of, but the politics themselves are things we know very well. It's the Vatican in the wake of the death of the Pope and them electing a new Pope. They are holding conclave, which is that's what they call the whole democracy side of voting for the Pope. It's the conclave, which is cool. And I dug this movie a great deal. The score is really good. It's really, really good looking. It's kind of a testament to how many good movies there are that it's this low. So Conclave at 97.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with Ray Fiennes there. I don't know, that is a man I need ever since just Grand Budapest. I've kind of just wanted to get more of, and yeah, I don't know. I saw the. I feel like this one was marketed pretty well. Like I just at least maybe I don't think it was in the movie. Actually, no, it was just commercial wise that I just
this probably popped up on ESPN. They were like middle-aged dads are gonna love this one.
They're gonna fucking go crazy. But okay, Conclave. Wow, yeah. I wonder how democratic is actually electing a new pope. I feel like it's.
That'll give you some answers. That'll give you some answers.
Okay. Well, I guess a little god-like, sticking in the goddish vein. Not
goddish
really at all. It's just gods is in the title of this one. Still comic book. And I mean, it was fun, but then that's about it. Was Shazam Fury of the Gods?
Oh man,
one.
yeah.
And yeah, I think at first it was cool, having like the kids get their own powers too and become just like him, and it was like, okay, that's fun. But then they're adults the rest of the movie, and they barely go back to their kid form, and you just kind of think of them as adults the rest of the time, and it
sucks.
And it kind of I kind of wish they would, I don't know, that magic of like the kid wonder, I don't know, that I feel like it was just kind of lost. But then the
Rachel Zegler rules. Love her.
See.
I know she's in that movie.
Yeah. Who would she have? Oh, yes. She played the Greek kind of, I don't know, there were three like goddess kind of
she's one of the
figures.
She's like the inn.
The helper. Yeah. And I thought, I don't know, it was at least better than Wonder Woman was my justification. Is like, I thought, it had some
really
elements
forgettable.
That
it sucks too, because I remember watching it and being like, oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had a good time, all that. And then I have not thought about it since, there was actually one of my online friends named Zach, great dude, really fun movie watcher, great movie takes. He was talking about how he went and saw Y2K. One of my blind spots for the 20s. It's the new Kyle Mooney, Rachel Zegler film. And he was like, I didn't realize I've never seen Rachel Zegler in anything. I've become a big fan of Rachel Zegler, and I didn't realize that's entirely through how she seems to carry herself as a person. And I was like, holy shit, you're right. I don't think I've ever seen Rachel Zegler in anything either. And then he was like, yeah, I know a lot of people have seen the Shazams. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I have seen Rachel Zegler in something. Completely forgot about that. I've now watched her in a couple things, but I still need to get around to Hunger Games 5, the Songbirds and Snakes. I really, really need to watch that. She led that, big fan of the Hunger Games movies. That probably would have been in the top 100, I imagine, just given how much I like a few of the other four.
I was gonna say this hasn't come out. I'm like, she's Snow White in a live action Snow White movie, and it's like,
she's about to be. She was in West Side Story. She led West Side Story, the Steven Spielberg movie. But all right,
something good out of Shazam, I guess.
Yeah, Rachel Zegler.
So.
And I'm pretty sure Lucy Liu's in that movie, if I recall correctly.
Yes,
who also rocks. Love me some Lucy Liu.
Okay, man. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the main cast, is one thing. I feel like the dude
can't go
just
wrong
kinda,
with a little bit of Jimon Hunsu.
I don't know. I feel like was Zachary Levi the guy that kind of went crazy a little bit and just I don't know exactly what happened with him, but I just remember that people were like, okay, I think we're kind of done with you.
Yeah, Shazam
is
2
the feeling.
flopped at the box office, and it's kind of been like a never-ending pitfall for him. It's been pretty funny.
Yeah,
and
that's sad.
he's
Yeah.
also like here's the thing, politics are politics. Think what you want, but if you're an RFK supporter, I don't know, dude. You might be a fucking bozo.
Okay, so he's just
The dude got a fucking
pushing.
tapeworm in his brain, like that's.
The damn yellow
That's a rough
40,
one.
the red 40,
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds painful. Like
It does not sound like
feel
he's doing well. The Ministry of Health, ladies and gentlemen. So now we are on 96. I am going to go with Kinds of Kindness, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Really, really interesting movie. It's a good-looking one. Not my favorite Yorgos of the decade by any stretch. Not my favorite Emma Stone of the decade by any stretch. But it is still super strong. I love an anthology film. We got a few stories in this one. I think it's 3 stories. Yeah, and they're all cut back to back to back. It's really, really nice. It's the same cast in kind of all of them, too. They're just playing different characters. Willem Dafoe is great. Jesse Plemons. He probably won't get this, but I would not be upset about a Best Lead Actor nomination for Jesse Plemons. He did an incredible job in this, and he showed a lot of range. He played 3 different characters, and he did a great job in it. So, Kinds of Kindness is disturbing and funny. Kind of that perfect blend of things that Emma Stone has loved doing the last couple years, where it's way outside the box and still hits home. So, Kinds of Kindness is really strong. That's at my 96.
And with Willem Dafoe, it seems that dude is I don't know,
and Lanthimos, they've done they did Poor Things and The Favorite back a few years prior, and just plenty of stuff.
I see a review that says Part 1, Willem Dafoe. Part 2, Willem Defriend. Part 3, Willem Defreak.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
spot on. That's
I'm intrigued. I don't know. All I need is Willem Dafoe and Emma Stone. Pretty much. This is a pretty big blind spot. This was one I was really wanting to get to, and I was deciding between. I guess it'll come much later. We Live in a Time and this were kind of the last 2 that I was deciding between, and then Andrew Garfield
wins out.
And
Yeah,
Florence
I get that.
Pugh kind of won out there. Yeah, for me. But yeah, big blind spot here. But I don't know. I've only heard good things about this one. I like the crazy. I don't know. I do like the weird.
No, it's a weird one. It is a weird
thing,
one. Yeah, you'll dig it. You'll dig it.
Okay. Well, finally out of the comic zone here for a little bit, but we'll dive right back in. But for a little mid ground is Scream that came out in 2022. And I don't know. This I haven't watched all of the Scream movies. I'm not like a huge Scream fan. I've seen a couple of them, and this one, it feels like it was a trying to homage the OG as much as it could.
Yeah.
Same. I believe it was the same house, the original house, and who's the girl that returned? Oh my,
Courtney
goodness.
Cox.
Yeah, I think. I think. Was there only one? Yeah, she's definitely in the OGs.
Is Nev Campbell
I felt
in
like
it?
they're. Yeah. Okay. I think the guy, there was a. But he had a lot smaller of a role. I feel like. But no, not. Oh yeah. Yes. Okay. Yes. It is. It is both of them. They did come
Courtney
back. But
Cox
again,
and Nev Campbell.
So again, I guess, and the reason it's down here is that I remember some of it. The twists, were cool and stuff like that. But it was just kind of like it felt, I don't know, just a remake. Something that's just
it was
been
a
done
legacy
a lot
sequel
of
to a
times.
film that's had several sequels. Which is like,
I feel like they've had like 7. I don't know how many Scream movies. I feel like there's just like
I've
so
never
many
watched.
more than
I've never
thought.
watched any of them. I've never seen a single Scream movie.
Yeah.
That's my cross to bear as a cinephile. Never watched the original Scream.
There's 4.
Can't do it, won't do it.
Then a 6. Yeah, there is a 6. There's a 7. Holy shit! Yeah, I mean, they do keep going.
Pumping them motherfuckers out.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. 7 is 2026. So
Slated.
that one hasn't
Slated.
come out yet. So I guess we're on the 6th. Or if this one counts
right.
as the 7th,
All
I guess.
right.
But yeah, it was just a little horror insert here. But couldn't, I don't know, not too memorable. So that's why it's down here at 95. But
All right. I dig it. I dig it. My 95 is Blitz from 2024, directed by Steve McQueen, starring Saoirse Ronan. This is a really, really pretty film. Just gorgeous to look at. Really, really heartwarming and moving. It's got this sort of Charles Dickens, young kid ends up going off on his own and faces the horrors of the world, but maintains a certain positivity through it all and manages to make it out the other side, and all that good stuff. But it's got a little bit of a travelogue epic thing going on. It's set in the backdrop of the Blitzkrieg during World War II, and just it's really, really compelling. It's a little slow. I've seen a lot. It's the only Steve McQueen movie I've watched, and everybody who has seen this is like, this is pretty easily Steve McQueen's worst movie, right? Apparently there's not a lot that gives way to his style, and I'm like, dude, I don't know. I loved it. I thought it looked really good. So yeah, fuck it. We'll see. But I feel pretty good about this one. And it's breaching the top 100 for me here.
Okay. Yeah, Saoirse Ronan, another actor that just needs
There's
to.
another.
I think that I don't know. Maybe that's what I do this year, is finally just either director wise
Dive
or
into some actors.
actor-wise
Yeah.
yes, and get their filmography done. But yeah, okay, yeah. It's just sad. I don't know. Every time I return to my list and look, I can't wait to get to like the movies that I actually do. I feel like this is not my whole list. I promise. Like this is
Right.
this is not how it goes. But here, 94, we're back in the comic book vein. And it's Aquaman, and the Lost Kingdom.
Yeah,
here.
the second
And-
Aquaman.
Yeah, and again, I can tell you some visual things that I remember here,
Yeah.
but as for like the actual story is like it's just kind of it's a movie, and I don't know. And if something is just kind of average and just doesn't do anything crazy or different, it just kind of leaves my brain eventually.
No,
And
yeah,
this,
I'm with you.
this
I'm with you.
is just one of them.
Most comic book movies are like that right now.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just a weird state that we're in, is that we can have a decade and have some absolute bangers, like some of the best comic book movies to come out. The Batman, we have the Suicide Squad, we have like just really just well made, thought out comic book movies, and then I don't know, we just have the litter of
The schlockiest stuff in 20, 30 years. Yeah. No,
Yep.
it's real. It's real.
And- Yeah. That's about the only thing I can say good about it, is that there were some points that I'm like, oh wow, that actually looks pretty cool, or like just for a comic book movie, not like cinematically wise, just kind of like the what was his name? He looked like a praying mantis. I just don't know what his name actually was.
Black Manta.
Black Manta. Okay, so a little close, but like his design was pretty cool, and just I don't know, just the
I love that
nature
actor
of just-
too. Yahya Abdul Mateen. He's really, really talented. I never watched Aquaman 2 though. I think that
yeah.
I think this one slid past me.
No, I mean, no rush at all. I think that it's just, yeah. I don't think there's really any reason. I'm never going back to it. But yeah, even though it's, I don't know, it's Atlantis. It's the most kind of fantasy-esque of like comic, like DC. I feel like, of just being in Atlantis. I don't know. It's just the most different, and they still just
it's
kind
ocean set and all that
blah.
stuff. I'm with
it's
you.
still bland movie, but okay. Yeah,
All right,
that's
all right. 94 there. My 94, I know you're a fan of. I know this will be later on the list. I know it's there. My 94 is Glass Onion, directed by Ryan Johnson, 2022. A Knives Out mystery. I'm a big fan of the Knives Out films. I cannot wait for Wake Up Dead Man. I'm so fucking excited. I think that this movie catches a lot of flack. for just kind of being too aware, you know. So like one of the main critiques I see of it is that it's like if somebody hopped on Twitter and wrote a script based off what they saw, which is, I mean, it's dismissive and diminutive, but it's not entirely incorrect. I don't think, you know, like it is.
True.
It's really socially aware, in a really blue check gang sort of way prior to blue checks being available to anybody who wanted to pay $7. Back when it was like before the 2020 election, whenever it was like Mark Hamill and these other really famous,
well-known people,
really famous liberals were like, "Yep, can't vote for Trump." Da 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 da, and like, yeah, back then. It feels like one of them made a movie here, and it's strong. I do love it. I think it's a really good looking movie. I think Rian Johnson's just an incredible filmmaker. I fucking love him. I love the cast. The ensemble's obviously brilliant. I love me some Dave Bautista, Ed Norton, Leslie Odom Jr., Catherine Hahn. I mean, it's just a ridiculous cast, and you top it all off with Janelle Monáe kind of being the Ana de Armas equivalent from the first movie. It's great. It's great. So I'm a big fan of Glass Onion. I loved the aesthetic. I loved the liberties Rian Johnson was granted, I'm assuming, with money. Hopefully they can get that third one in some theaters. I would. They've been.
Yes.
Daniel Craig and him have been going hard at Netflix for it, so I would appreciate it. But, you know, you also know what you sign up for when you sign a contract with Netflix, so, like, I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it. I wish that Netflix would give them theater releases, but if you're real mad your movies aren't getting theater releases, maybe you shouldn't have agreed to work with Netflix, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I hope, you know, it doesn't follow the trend that, like, the Glass Onion movies have been seeing, because I feel like the first one was just kind of whoa. Like the first one is just kind of, I feel like it does stand a little bit different
level
than Glass Onion. But I don't know. It is still pretty high up on my list there. So I do love it. And so I mean, yeah, I'm definitely excited for the next one, but I'm hoping it would
next
be nice
one's got
to
Josh
sit in a theater
O'Connor and Kaylee
see.
Spaney,
Ooh.
and that's kind of all I need, and then I'm
Okay.
good. You know,
Okay.
so.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, Rian Johnson is I was already in
He's
before
got
it, but
man.
then now
He's
Josh
on
O'Connor.
it.
That's
Josh O'Connor. Josh Brolin is in it.
Ooh, okay.
Thomas Hayden Church, who played the Sandman in the Spider-Man movies, and
Daniel Craig, has he been confirmed?
Yeah.
Or...
He's
okay,
the constant.
I didn't
There
know.
will never be a
Didn't know
Knives
if they
Out
would
movie
be...
without Benoit Blanc.
Okay, yeah, has to. I mean, that would be. It'd feel a little weird.
Be blasphemous.
Without
It'd be blasphemous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my 94.
Okay. Well, here, I guess some people really, really loved this movie, and I can't believe the love that it saw. But this Deadpool and Wolverine is what I have at 93, and yeah, there were some cool moments, some cool cameos, some whatever. But one of the like most bland comic book movies, I don't know that I like. It just looked
grotesque,
gray. The blank just desert landscape for a while that they were in was just bad. And then like, I don't know. I just for people saying that this is by far the best Deadpool movie is that's crazy to me.
absurd.
Like to say that this is
sorry.
is better
Sean
than
Levy
one
doesn't
or
have
two.
any of the juice that David Leitch does. He just doesn't. Not even close. Not even fucking close.
Yeah.
I watched.
I
I watched 65 2024 movies. This ranked at 63. So it's also not in my top 100.
Yeah, I would really wish if it wasn't. That's that's the one thing I wish is that I did have movies to insert here because they guaranteed would be going above all of these, and like they would be kicked out. And I haven't hit that critical mass of like, ooh, no, this one I have to keep in. Like I really, really want to keep this one in the 100. And so like that was kind of my. At least what I realized is that, okay, well, it's just my movie watching, tendencies have just changed. And this is, I don't know, it is a good time capsule, at least for me.
No, for sure.
This
A little
list,
bit of a
to see how it
blend
evolves,
of
but,
the before four times. I get
yeah.
it. I get it. But
But
beautiful. Deadpool and Wolverine at 93. My 93 is Lisa Frankenstein, directed by Zelda Williams. This has Catherine Newton and Cole Sprouse. Just a really, really sweet horror comedy thing going on. Horror romantic comedy, furthermore. Really, really... It's got a lot of reverence for old horror movies, like old horror movies, almost 100-year-old horror movies, that sort of thing. It's pretty to look at. It's got that really fun neon electric aesthetic, and I think that that's a great time. It was written by the same chick who did Jennifer's Body with Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried, which even if you are unfamiliar with the title, you'll be familiar with some of the images from it. But yeah, no, Lisa Frankenstein, great stuff. Catherine Newton I'd only seen her previously in Quantumania.
Oh, she is in Quantum. Oh yeah, wow. She's what's his daughter's name?
Yeah, Paul Rudd's daughter.
Whoever the daughter is. Was she
Cassie Lang? That's what it was.
There it is. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Lisa Frank. At least it was one that I did put on the list to watch, and I might hypothetically put on a hard drive. Off of, I don't know, just off of the aesthetics of it alone, and just kind of Cole Sprouse.
Super cute.
I guess
we grew
up with him too.
Oh yeah, dude. We saw this in theaters back in February of 2024, and we were like, just I have A-list. Let's go check out a fucking movie, and we walked out fucking loving it, and I think that's a good sign, So 93, Lisa Frankenstein.
Okay, well, moving on to 92 here. Starting to get into the comic book movies that I sort of am liking. I don't have terrible things to say about them really anymore, I guess, or too terrible. But this one is where the Marvels will slot in here.
Love that
for me, and just I guess the rest of this episode will just be comic book movies for me. And so I am finishing out with only comic book movies, and they naturally just kind of found their way at the bottom of the
bottom
list.
10. I'm with you.
And that's just kind of how it is. But at least there is a jump from Deadpool and Wolverine to the Marvels. Like this one, it felt a lot better. I'm feeling the things I should feel during a comic book movie. And the dynamic between the three, I don't know. I think it was just a really unique thing to write into a story of them all trading places at first and not knowing why, but then using it to their own advantage. And then and so I mean, it was not anything that surprised me too much in the movie or anything like that, but it was, I don't know, I thought it was just a lot more well done than Deadpool and Wolverine, and a cool, in this era of Marvel, this one was, a lot of people love to shit on it and hate on it, just cause men, and everything like that, but no, this one was a more of a delight and more of
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Nice, just
and Brie Larson, Amon Villani, and Teyana Paris, they have all got just great chemistry. It's a great Samuel L. Jackson turn in there. He did a good job. And I love me some Nia DaCosta. She's also done Candyman. That's another Yahya Abdul-Mateen one, and that one's a good movie.
I need that one. That one's Candyman's been one I don't know. That one was a long time ago that I wanted to watch that. That was man, I forgot about that. But
well worth your time. Worth your time. But Nia DaCosta the ship. My 92. We actually caught this in theaters together. This is where I have Godzilla -1, directed by Takashi Yamazaki. I mean, and I'm not going to tell you anything you haven't already heard about Godzilla -1. This shit's really dope. It's epic. It's beautiful to look at. There's some pretty unbelievable VFX in this motherfucker. I think that I've said many times that if the movie ends like 10 seconds earlier, it's perfect. It's just like, oh God, what are we doing here? And it is what it is, man. But you know, you got to respect the grind. Takashi Yamazaki was like, "I'm gonna make another one of these. I promise." You know, I love that
Yeah.
confidence. I love that energy. So you know, keep it up. But yeah, no, Godzilla minus one's really, really just unbelievable stuff. The first Godzilla I ever saw in theaters, and it was not a disappointment. Saw it last year on my birthday, actually, my 24th birthday, as we approach my 25th.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, and it did win. Did it win? I feel like there was one
Best
award.
VFX. Yeah, it won best visual
Okay,
effects.
so okay, that's good. I remember seeing the the creators like hearing that they won and like or I don't know
Hearing
seeing
that they
like
were nominated and they had all their little
oh that's
Godzilla
what it
toys
was.
and stuff.
Okay, yes, that's right. I know it felt like
They
not like
came to
this
the red
was
carpet fucking dripped out too. They
mm,
had like the Godzilla
mm,
fucking leather hide
mm-hmm,
high heel like platform shoes. It's fucking gorgeous. I loved it.
mm,
But yeah, Godzilla
yeah.
minus one's the shit. 92.
Okay. Yeah, it'll be a little bit later in the list. But man, yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait to get back there and talk about it again. But moving on here, I'll just in this one, it was the actual only one where I was going back and forth down here on this list. Kind of was whether the Marvels would beat this one out or not,
Mm.
and it was just kind of this one felt a little bit more unique and I just a little bit more memorable. And it's Quantum Mania.
Yeah.
And it kind of the whole Jonathan Majors situation kind of throws an egg into this one with like the post credit scene and
Yeah.
everything or the ending. But this was at a time in which I was still trying to figure out everything Marvel. And this felt like the next biggest installation in like, all right, here's where we're going. Here's, the Kang shit. We're in the quantum realm. We're just doing the stuff that was intriguing to me at the time. And I thought it was just really cool, in the quantum realm. Whenever you saw those they drank that fluid or whatever that made everybody understand
Right.
languages, and just having all the different walks of life and aliens and stuff. I thought just you don't usually get that in Marvel. At least they're starting to get there now because we can go to space and do all these crazy things. But I think
First
I don't know.
first
Mhm.
Katie O'Brien appearance in this project.
Mm. Oh yes, she'll come a lot later on,
Mm.
as well. That's for sure. She was who was she in this?
She was
An
like the badass who led the revolution in the quantum
Oh,
realm.
okay.
It's
Yeah.
before we
Oh,
knew it was Katie O'Brien for real, like
damn.
she definitely had a little bit of a
Uh-huh.
breakout. Can you believe it's already been, I mean, next month it'll be 2 years since this movie came out?
That is crazy. Yeah, that's just not okay. That I don't know. That's but yeah, and again, it's kind of I was going back and forth of putting the Marvels above this one because I feel better with watching the Marvels. I feel like if I rewatch any of them, it would be the Marvels rather than
Mm.
Quantumania. But I think there was just there was more MCU juice. It felt like with this one going on
Right.
and just the big I don't know, there was a big battle I guess at the end with and then Scott having just that worry of like, oh shit, wait, did we win? Like did we do like did we do
Yeah.
everything right? Just the thought
A
of
little
Kang,
freak out at the
just
end
kind
and
of
everything. Yeah, that's good
mm-hmm,
stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, my
mm-hmm.
91 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant
Hey,
Mayhem.
okay,
Loved
yeah,
this
yeah,
one. I grew up big Ninja Turtle guy. So this was a pleasure. It was like the first good TMNT movie since the original TMNT movie, which came out long before I was born. So
mm-hmm.
it's I grew up with that a little bit, but like I was also young, so like some of the visual effects and stuff, I was always like, this is bullshit. Let me watch Star Wars. I've grown to appreciate the TMNT movie quite a bit. The original
Mm-hmm.
Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. But this was great. This is kind of the first that's come out in my lifetime that really resonated with me, which is funny because I was fucking
Mm.
23 when it came out.
Yep.
But it's true.
Hey, but
It's a goodie. I love it. I thought it
mm-hmm.
was fucking hysterical. I love Io Adebri. And I think that it's really, really well animated. I think it's a pretty movie to look at. So I love me some TMNT. And with that, we can get to 90. But before we get to 90, before we get to the last of the episode, I want to tell you an official announcement here. Prior to the last movie on our list for this episode, the Cinementalists is doing a giveaway. A giveaway. You must be on Blue Sky to really, really act on this. So if you're not on Blue Sky, you ought to head there because you'll find information on our giveaway where we will be giving out a Blu-ray copy of Paris is Burning, the Criterion Collection Edition, a Blu-ray version of Certain Women, also Criterion Collection Edition, and a Letterboxd patron membership, which is $50 a year for you to get access to all sorts of features Letterboxd has for you. I love it, and I would love to share that joy with other people. So there's a bunch of information on a graphic over there explaining how you enter, but the basics are this. You got to subscribe on YouTube. If you're listening on YouTube, you're already one step ahead. Go ahead and just click that subscribe button. And then you have to download an episode somewhere else. Apple, Spotify, Audible, wherever. And if you need, hit me up. I can send you a direct download link. I have that capability. You know, I'm open to working with anybody who doesn't have the means to download an episode. We can figure it out. You know, we'll do something, but you got to put that effort in. That's what I'm looking for here. Yeah, so just those are the two basics. Those will get you an entry. You also got to DM me on Blue Sky to send me the proof that you've done so. And there's a little bit more of a caveat there. We have ways to earn additional entries, and this is why it's important to be on Blue Sky, because if you like and repost that graphic, you will get an additional entry. If you reply and at a friend, tag somebody, you can tag anybody, I don't give a fuck, you will get an additional entry. And the last caveat is every episode you download from the Cinementalists will get you an additional entry. And as of today, I believe there are over 30 episodes right now. I think 32, maybe 33, something like that right now. Either way, you can get 32 or 33 entries if you try hard enough here and download every episode. And that's just how many additional entries you can get based off of the downloaded episodes alone. So you got to check it out. If you want a copy of Certain Women, if you want a copy of Paris is Burning, if you want a copy of Letterboxd, or if you want a Letterboxd patron membership, all of those things could be yours. You know, we're going to select a different winner or a different name for every item, but the more entries you have, the more likely you are to get all three if you want. So go ahead and check that out. Enter that contest. Enter that giveaway. I would be happy to provide you with a little joy with a movie or with a Letterboxd membership. So go ahead and check that out on my Blue Sky at Colton Robertson. All right, let's get to 90.
Okay, the last comic book movie for a little bit. I guess, just until next episode. But here, this one, at least it's better than Quantumania. At least it's better than the Marvels. I do actually have problems with it. It's The Flash is where I have this one, and the whole AI recreation of things. I just kind of forget about that part of the movie whenever Christopher Reeves and
Adam West and
Supergirl,
George Reeves,
and you know, I guess we had Nicolas Cage in there as Superman for a little, you know, but that part of the movie, I'll throw it out. I kind of forget about it. It's whatever. But I don't know, having just some legacy character, like, I mean, we just have Michael Keaton as Batman, which was
Sick.
Was pretty cool. But this really didn't feel like a Flash movie, really whatsoever. It was just kind of, I feel like, well, we can do this. We know it's going to make a bunch of money because Michael Keaton's in it,
right?
And here we go. But yeah, and that's honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, probably should be below the Marvels and below Quantumania. But I thought at least it had, I don't know, there were some cool, like Supergirl. Was actually really
Sasha
cool
Calle is really dope.
Yeah.
I liked her as Supergirl for sure.
Yeah, she did well. Ezra Miller, I don't know, the whole Flash part of the story was whatevs, but but I don't know, seeing the old Batman stuff brought into the new world, I thought was pretty cool for the time, and then just the way they ended it, and just the VFX were like, I mean,
horrendous. Yeah, it's
crazy
real
that
bad.
it passed the kind of like, yep, let's put this one out, let's ship it to the
The
theaters.
video
guys.
game load-in screen that they have during the middle of it, where like you become the characters whenever it switches to first person, or third person, I guess.
The baby, all the babies falling out the window, and he's having to save them. Like it just, I don't know. It was crazy how just kind of bad that some of the VFX looked, but yeah, a weird way to top off the list. That's for sure.
Hey, I'll be balancing you out here with my last Marvel movie. 90 is where I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, directed by James Gunn. Really, like, it just again speaks volumes to how good the 20s have been, that this is at 90, because this is definitely my favorite Marvel movie of the decade. And it's sitting here at 90. I think that it does a lot of good. It does as much good as it can, given kind of the hand it's dealt after Infinity War and Endgame. And I think that's a tough task, and I think James Gunn lived up to it. I think that they managed to create a really compelling story of loss and longing between Gamora and Peter, which is what you needed to do. They figured that out. I thought that Rocket Raccoon's story is really incredible. Loved that stuff. Love Mantis. Love Drax. Just the typical. Love all that. High Evolutionary's dope. Great villain. Yeah, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like here, and James Gunn's got the juice, so I'm really excited for the DCU going forward.
Oh yeah, kind of I don't know, a lot better. The Flash versus Guardians 3. Yeah, Guardians 3 comes a little later in my list. I do still have it up there a little bit, not too high. I'm not as a lot of I was very, very eager, or very, I don't know, just. I put them very high, the top comic book movies, and then when I did my reorder, they dropped down quite a bit, but still, it won't be for a couple weeks that I won't talk about Guardians 3, but yeah, much better than the Flash to top off the comic book kind of vein here. So,
but yeah, let's go ahead and run that back. Give me 90 through 100 on your list, and I'll do the same, and then I'll do the plugs, and we can get the fuck out of here.
All right. Me, 90, I had The Flash. 91, Ant-Man Quantumania. 92, The Marvels. 93, Deadpool and Wolverine. 94, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. 95, Scream. 96, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. 97, Wonder Woman, 1984. 98, Space Jam, A New Legacy. 99, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And 100, The Family Plan.
Almost certainly the heaviest comic book movie episode we'll get is you got 4 out of me and 7 out of you or something like that. So
100%. Yeah.
3 out of me. 3 out of me, 7 out of you. But yeah, my 90, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 91, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. 92, Godzilla -1. 93, Lisa Frankenstein. 94, Glass Onion. 95, Blitz. 96, Kinds of Kindness. 97, Conclave. 98, Across the Spider-Verse, 99, White Noise, and 100, Fancy Dance. And with that, you can head on over to part 2 where you'll get the 80s, and we've got some more goodies coming your way. And immediately looking at the 80s, we're in a different league for me. It's already it's a level up. It's a level up, which is what it's going to be every single episode. Every single episode we're leveling up. So yeah, you should be on YouTube. You can subscribe over there, like, and all that good stuff. And if you subscribe on YouTube, you're already halfway to a giveaway entry, so you better just go ahead and do that. How about, go ahead and download some episodes, leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you might be listening. Would appreciate that greatly. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Colton Robertson, and you can keep coming back week after week. Next Friday is my birthday, and I'm very, very excited for that. We'll be covering Willow, the Ron Howard film from 1988. Super excited for that. So part 3 and 4 of the top 100 will actually be out Wednesday. So we're going to, we got part 1 and 2 today, part 3 and 4 next Wednesday. And then the Fridays after that in January are where you'll find the rest of the top 100. So just keep coming back week after week. You shan't be disappointed. We got a lot of good movies to discuss some movies to discuss, as you heard here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the fun of it. That is the fun of it. So the top 100 will be going all month long, and you better keep on coming back for it. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And go ahead and throw on a couple 20s movies in the meantime and come on back and keep kicking it with us, all right?